Hello and welcome to another Vinny Talks Yanks. I'm your host Vincent LaRose, and today we are doing another 2025 player recap for the New York Yankees, and today's player is going to be Devin Williams. Just like the last video with Cody Bellinger, Devin Williams is going to be a free agent, and there's been a lot of questions asked whether the Yankees will resign him, give him another chance, because this past season obviously wasn't his greatest, probably the worst of his career besides his rookie season. But Devin Williams is a strange topic because, as we all saw at the beginning of the year, he was awful. One of the worst, not just closers in baseball, but relief pitchers in general. He was not good whatsoever. He had no fastball command. All he had was the changeup, and it was predictable. And all around, Devin Williams struggled to start the season. A lot of questions were being asked why he was still continuing to close games, and a lot of people blamed Devin Williams as one of the main reasons the Yankees were unable to win the division this year, as he blew so many games, as the bullpen blew so many games. Just one more win and we would have had the division. But we will start with his stats, just like every single video will start. So, I'm sorry, let me pull them up real quick. So Devin Williams this year, although on the outside looking in, his season was bad, it really wasn't horrible. Devin Williams pitched in 67 games this year, and he had 62 innings pitched, a 34.7% strikeout rate, which is pretty good. 9.7% walk rate, which is also pretty good. And he had a 4.79 ERA. He was predicted to have a 2.89 ERA this season, a 2.68 FIP, and a 1.4 WAR overall. Devin Williams was a 52% changeup, 47% fastball pitcher, did not throw the cutter one time this entire season. And the thing about the changeup is, it's, as we all know, it's not a true changeup. It's more like a screwball than anything else. The way he holds it, the way he releases it, and just the movement on the ball in general. It's one of the best pitches in baseball if he is on. The problem with the screwball changeup this year was it plays really well off the fastball, and a lot of times this season we saw he really had no command of the fastball whatsoever. Devin Williams didn't even necessarily get rocked every single time he went out. He didn't give up a lot of home runs. It's not like he gave up a lot of extra base hits. The problem with Devin Williams was he would walk a lot of guys because he'd lose command with his fastball, and then at that point they know you're throwing a changeup, and he just gave up a lot of dribbling singles, a lot of dunk hits in the outfield, and most of the time his runs were scored after a single, after a walk, a single after multiple walks, and he struggled in that aspect of the game. The one turnaround I did see with Devin Williams is after he was first relinquished of his closer duties and Weaver took over, it seemed like there was some sort of a click, and then it worked for a little bit, and then it kind of fell apart again, and then it worked for a little bit, and then it kind of fell apart again. But once Devin Williams started calling his own pitches, or he'd make the call himself, he seemed a lot more confident. His control seemed to be a little bit more in command, and the screwball got even better. It was one of the best pitches in baseball this year. When he was on, he was one of the best pitchers in baseball this year. The strikeout rate was ridiculous, and overall we saw his really low moments, and we saw many high moments as well. Towards the end of the season, Devin Williams figured it out. He had a sub-3 ERA in the last 2 months of the season, and that's including the postseason. I know in the postseason he gives up the hit that'll likely lead us to losing in the ALDS in Game 4, but he was brought in with runners on base, blah blah blah. I don't agree with the pitch selection, but that's over. I'm not going to judge a guy on one inning of pitching. I'm going to judge him on the full season. And obviously, Devin Williams over a full season scale was not that good, but the back half of his season really showed the true Devin Williams we saw. I know there was still a couple hiccups here and there. It wasn't perfect, but it was still really good. And do I see Devin Williams being a closer in the future? More likely no than yes. I think he's going to be a really good 7th, 8th setup man, a guy that holds the lead, maybe sticks it to a tie, maybe you put him in when you're just down by 1. Devin Williams is still a really, really good relief pitcher, and he can be a closer. He has that stuff. Now we get into the point of, do the Yankees re-sign Devin Williams? And I'm very 50-50 on it. I would like to see Devin Williams return. Obviously not in a closer role. I think that Bednar or Duvall would have that over him once Duvall kind of figures it out. Sorry, I'm super congested right now. But Devin Williams is still not going to be cheap. He's projected to make about $16 million a year, which is crazy for the season he just came off of. And the Yankees don't realistically have that much money. I mean, as of right now, we're sitting at about $177 million on the payroll. After pre-arb and arbitration, they're sitting about probably in the high 220s, maybe 228 million. Maybe it's going to be about 225 to 235 million pre-arbitration and arbitration. And you're waiting on Cody Bellinger to see whether you re-sign him, because he's probably going to be close to another $30 million a year unless they backload his contract, which I don't see necessarily happening. They would only backload his contract if there was no opt-outs. Jesus Christ. So the Yankees probably have close to $75 million after they non-tenure some guys. Mark Leiter Jr. could be one. Scott Efros could be one. Realistically, they could non-tenure about $4.5 million off the payroll. I don't know if they do that necessarily unless they are in agreement with another closer-like guy. But, we shall see. So Devin Williams is not going to be cheap. He's not going to necessarily be making closer money, but he's going to be making good money. And I don't know if that's worth it. If it was on a prove-it deal, maybe like a 2-year, $25 million deal, and after the first year, the Yankees had a club option, not so much a player option, but a club option to keep him for a second. And then after that second year, if he's had good numbers, then he can go get that really big contract. But relief pitchers tend to not get longer term contracts anyways, and I'm sure that's what Devin Williams is looking for. I just don't know what teams are going to offer him after a season like this, because you saw his highs and you saw his lows, and his lows were very, very low, but his highs were pretty high. He was good in the postseason, unlike his past. So Devin Williams is such a strange topic to go for with the Yankees, because I do think they'd be unintelligent to not at least pursue him and see if they can work something out. And I also think it would be intelligent to let him go if he gets to that $15-16 million AAV range, because that is way too much for Devin Williams, in my opinion. I do think it'd be kind of fun if the Yankees don't sign Devin Williams, because they quite literally changed one of their longest standing policies with the facial hair policy, essentially for Devin Williams. When Devin Williams got traded over, he shaved, and a lot of people were kind of saying, oh, he lost all of his aura, blah blah blah, this and that, because he kind of did look a little funny without a beard. So after talking, there was a statement released by Hal Steinbrenner after talking with players and staff and all that. They decided to relinquish the facial hair policy, allowing guys to have properly groomed or nice groomed beards. And there's a lot of players we saw growing out. Judge had a little bit of scruff, so did Stanton. You saw Jason Dominguez growing out. You saw Carlos Rodon famously grow it out. They were like, oh, he got everything back. He got all his mojo back because he grew his beard out. And obviously Devin Williams grew his beard back. But it's the first time in a long time New York Yankees have been allowed to have facial hair besides a mustache. So it'd be kind of funny to see and let him go after we changed a policy almost entirely for him. He said at the beginning of the season that it wouldn't matter in free agency whether he would be able to have a beard or not, which I think is a kind of silly reason not to sign with the Yankees. But hey, I get it. It's your image, and you want to look your image, so I completely understand. So I don't know if the Yankees re-signed Devin Williams. Devin Williams said in his final interview before Yankees went to Cancun that he did enjoy his time as a Yankee, and he would 100% reconsider re-signing with the Yankees. He liked taking the subway to the city, into the games and stuff like that, which was crazy for me to hear, because I'm like, yo, there's definitely somebody said something to you, knowing Yankees fans. A lot of the shitty Yankee fans out there will say something to him about his poor performances, but Devin Williams is an interesting topic. He was in my off-season predictions. I do think the Yankees do get a contract done with him. I think it's going to be a short-term, maybe 2 years at max, opt-out, prove-it deal, just because of the last season he had, up-season last year. But I do think the Yankees believe in him, especially with what he showed them at the end of the season. And I don't know. I do think they re-sign him, but I also think they don't think they re-sign him. I'm very 50-50 on this. But that's Devin Williams. That's all the information we got about him. We all saw what happened over the season, the highs, the lows, like I said before. So let me know. Do you guys think they should re-sign Devin Williams on a deal, or maybe they should just let him go, look for other bullpen options? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And let me know what players you want to see most. I'm kind of going in a random order. I'm not particularly following a certain order. I'm just picking out guys I want to talk about. Aaron Judge is going to be after the MVP votes, or after we know who the MVP is, because I'm going to have a separate special thing for him, because, he's the captain. He's Aaron Judge. But as always, I appreciate every single person watching this video, whether it's on the YouTube side or whether you're listening to it on the podcast side. Every last one of you is appreciated. And as always, I do shorts videos every day. That's on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I do YouTube shorts as well. All of it is Vinny Talks Yanks, and then Instagram is Vinny.TalksYanks. So, as that has been said, I hope every one of you has a wonderful morning, night, day, whatever it is. And as always, go Yankees.